Yeah, I can take it. Yeah, obviously Steve is a friend of Eddie's, and it's awesome to have him here in camp with us, leading up to this France game. So we know the experience that he's had with the All Blacks, and obviously winning World Cup. So he's just here to give us some feedback on how we can improve our program. So it's good to have him here with us.
Yeah, like Robbie was saying, he's a great friend of Eddie's, and to see him in here and trying to help us in ways where we can improve leading up to this World Cup. It's great, you know. We've already seen him in the leaders' meetings with the boys, and I think just having his presence around here, and especially at training, lifts the boys, and I'm sure we're going to take away a great deal of what he has to say and do in this week.
So of course the question we're wondering, especially here, is it just for a few days, or is it for more few weeks?
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. No, yeah.
It's just a few days, Patrick.
Just a few days.
Okay,
Yeah, that's okay.
Fair enough. And last thing about the topic, it's what do you think about the reaction of Dan Cole? You know, when he knew about Steve Hansen, his decision to help the Australian team, and he said apparently like something like, sorry for the pronunciation, it's gobsmacked.
Gobsmacked?
Oh, Gobsmacked.
Gobsmacked, sorry, yeah. So what do you think about his reaction?
You know, I think he's obviously had a relationship with Steve Hansen as their coach for All Blacks, so it's not really surprising, but there's not much we can also do about that. We're just obviously real grateful that we can have him here with us to provide us with feedback and help us improve our program for leading up to the World Cup.
Okay, back to rugby, of course, and competition. Are you where you want to be today? I'm talking about your level before the World Cup, 2 weeks at the beginning of the World Cup, and especially because you had bad results and 4 defeats.
Yeah, I think obviously we play each game to win, but I think if you watch our games closely and internally, we know we're heading in the right direction, and we're putting, you know, a good performance in the first half, especially the last game in Dunedin. So I think we're trending in the right direction, and like you said, it's a World Cup, so we'll go game by game, and I think it's whoever improves the most and can get into those quarterfinals and semi-finals, you know, with everything humming. So yeah, I think, you know, we're obviously with 4 defeats, but internally we're happy with the way we're trending, and you know, everyone's going to see that in the World Cup.
So for you, your target for the team, for all the members of the team, it's to go to the quarterfinals, semi-final, final, and win the World Cup in France.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. That's why we're here, you know, and that's why we play. It's the biggest, I guess, stage for all the boys here, and we didn't come here just to take part, you know. So we're yeah, and I'm sure like that's every team that's a part of this is gunning for that. So it's no different for us.
About France, of course, the next match on Sunday. How important is it for you 2 weeks before the World Cup? And about the France team, what are the main strengths of this team, of this France team?
Yeah, I think for us, it's obviously it's another game for us, so another opportunity before World Cup. Our last sort of, I guess, warm-up match leading into that first game against Georgia, so it's a chance for us to put everything that we've been doing in training into the match against France, and obviously France with Dupont, he's running 9 and he's been in form for a good amount of years, so obviously we know their forwards are very big as well, so set piece and a lot of kicking, so we know they've got a lot of strengths, so we're prepping to do our best to come away with the result come Sunday.
And for you, both players, especially of course, you are thinking about Antoine Dupont. Do you have any specific focus on players, French players?
Yeah, I guess you look at your opposition and who you're playing against. So obviously in the back line, you got Fuku and Joe Dante, who's they're good ball carriers and they get over the ball well. So and then you got the athleticism with their back row. So look, it's going to be a good match, and like Robbie said, we want to put all the things that we've done in the last few weeks at training in this match before the World Cup. So it's exciting, and we're definitely going out there to win that game as well.
Thank you.
Online, Nathan, Tommy.
G'day boys, congrats on being in your first World Cup squad. Can I just get your stories of how you found out and who your first phone calls were to let them know you're going to be going to France?
Yeah, my phone call was obviously a bit daunting, like sort of just waiting for it the whole day. We got told, I think it was the Tuesday.
After training,
Yeah, after training. So we're sort of just hanging by the phone. So I was just in the car going to lunch, and then got the call. I was in the car with one of my mates in Melbourne. So just was real stoked to obviously make the team, and watching previous World Cups at home growing up. So it's awesome to be here, obviously with La as well. And obviously the first people I told was my family, mum and dad, and my brother and my two sisters. So mainly for my dad, I think it's always been a dream of his and also mine to be here. So I'm just grateful to be here.
Yeah, for me, where was I? I was in the car with my partner and the kids. Were off to go see my dad. He was on break at work at the chicken shop. So got out of the car and got the phone call from Webby, and which was special, and took a couple minutes there to myself just to kind of reflect on what it actually that phone call meant, and then having my family there and then seeing my dad straight away was special, and it kind of sunk in then, because obviously, like Robbie said, we just finished the TRC and then had training hubs, and all the boys, I guess that day were a bit nervous and waiting for that phone call. So to get that and to be surrounded by my family was special.
When you say a chicken shop, what does your old man do?
My old boy is a floor sander, so he snuck out of work because I hadn't seen him for a while. So shout out to Freshy Chicken Shop down there in Manly. So we went down there and grabbed the feed together and let the kids run around, and it was a special moment because I just got told I was going to my first World Cup, and so we just sat there and chatted about what it took to get there.
Did you think there'd be more of a chance, in a wider squad, obviously with the injury to Samu as well, which is unfortunate, and how do you think that paves the way for you this week? It probably seems like he's a little bit off maybe for this week.
Yeah, look, obviously just being in the squad's great, but you're obviously striving and you're wanting to play, and whether that's in the starting 15 or the 23. So with Samu, look, he's dominated for many years now, and he's obviously been the form 12, and rightly so. So for me to come in, I've had to buy my time, and it's unfortunate that he's got an injury at the moment, but that allows me, I guess, to hopefully get some game time and contribute to this team, because trying to contribute off the field and at trainings, you also want to do it on the field. So look, it's and again, it's awesome to pinch ideas off each other and to learn and to grow together. It's not like obviously fighting for competition, for the jersey, but we want to help each other because there's a bigger picture here.
Can you talk us through that roller coaster of the last match you played in Paris? Help score a try from the end of the world, silence that crowd, and then an injury, and then you're on the flight home. The next day almost. What a weird day that was for you.
Yeah, it was. Looking back on it, it was a bit surreal. Playing that game, running out in that stadium, and then obviously getting that try, and all the emotions and everything were really high. But then that injury struck, and then it just changed. The boys flew off to Italy the next day, and I had to fly home. So it was bittersweet. I really I love being around this group and obviously playing. So it was a roller coaster. Obviously, one of the highest highs, in my career, playing in France against France, and then being on the next flight out back to Sydney that next day. So it was tough.
Just the last one for you from me, Lalakai. Australia came so close not to winning that match. A lot of people probably didn't think you guys would go that close over there in such a hostile crowd. Does that give the guys who were there that night a bit of confidence this week? You guys have been there, done that, sort of had a dress rehearsal last year, and generally, how much emphasis is being placed on this game? Is it absolutely imperative to try and get that win for confidence before the World Cup, or is it just still getting things, humming before that Georgia game?
Yeah, I think the boys that were there last year and witnessed and was a part of that felt the crowd and how hostile it could be. So, I think it's probably going to work, in boys' favours. And then in terms of this game and what we want to achieve, it's obviously win. I think we're slowly putting things in place at training, and we want to see that on Sunday. And we want to showcase it and obviously give our fans and supporters back home, something to cheer about and a bit of hope for us to leading into that World Cup. So it's a big emphasis. We're not there just to try new things and see what happens and hopefully pull it off. We're going there to front up and to showcase it and play. What we want to play is Wallaby rugby.
A question for either of you guys. It's quite a unique experience to be able to play the World Cup host in their final game before before the tournament kicks off. Being based in Paris, do you guys get that sense of the hype around the World Cup and the country getting behind what's going to be an incredible tournament?
Yeah, I think you do. I think being in Paris, France obviously going really well. The second ring. So yeah, they're obviously one of the top teams here, and you can see how influential they are when you go around the city, and obviously the billboards with the World Cup. So we know it's massive and it's going to be a big occasion. So you can definitely feel it's a different feeling right now this time of the year, and we're just excited to take part and to do a job and to make our supporters proud.
I guess, Rob, for yourself, coming back from the via the bench, having missed the entirety of Super Rugby due to that injury, what's the feeling like just to get that consistent minutes? And I guess the second part is, how does that competition in the back row really kind of spur on sort of that training levels just to find that next level as you guys keep pushing each other?
Yeah, I think for me personally, it's been really good because I hadn't played any Super Rugby this year. So finally getting the team train with the boys when I joined camp, took a bit to sort of find my legs and test for the lungs as well. But yeah, just obviously just trying to repay the faith to Eddie and obviously the staff when they picked me to come on the bench. Just been happy with the minutes I've been getting and trying to build to get back to that top sort of form and be able to contribute to this team and get some wins on the board leading into the World Cup. And obviously, the back row as well. Real young back row as well, so all real versatile. Obviously, like Bobby, Fraze, Kemeny, who's also a utility as well, Lungy, and Hoops as well. So we're just all feeding off each other here. Like Lars said, we're all just trying to help each other. It's healthy competition here, but there's a greater goal here. and we're just competing every day in training, you know, obviously for that spot. But regardless of whatever the team is, you know, there's a bigger picture, and we're trying to win the World Cup.
As you talk about that age of the back row, I think you might be, if not the oldest in that back row group at 26. Who's the kind of, is there someone who's sort of stepped up as a leader? What do you guys do to kind of bounce off each other? And just, can you give some examples?
Yeah, it's new for me, you know what I mean? Yeah, I think being the oldest in the back row now, so a lot of the time it's been obviously Hoops when he was here for us. So I think we've taken a lot from previous guys that have been older than us in the back row the last 2 years. So I think for us, we're just all sort of trying to help each other. Like I said before, we're all playing a part in everything in terms of attack and defence. There's at least one of us in those sort of leadership groups within the attack and defence. So just trying to have a voice and help each other out throughout this campaign is going to help our back row go really well.
Last couple online, thanks guys.
I was going to say, Rob and Lalakai as well, what socially you guys been doing? It seems like there's been a few, you know, trips to the Eiffel Tower and just sort of embracing Paris for what it is. Has Eddie been pretty relaxed about that since you've landed? You take us inside what the lads have been doing outside the footy field.
Yeah, we landed Friday. Obviously, you got jet lag, and then you got to acclimatise to the time difference. So, I think the boys, we had a first, couple of days recovery, and boys have been enjoying the sightseeing when we have times off. But when we're off, and then when we're on. We've had a few tough sessions already, and in this heat, it's hard, and boys are enjoying it, and it's just making training even better, because if we want to continue to have that flexibility and that time to go out and enjoy what Paris has to offer, then we've got to show up, and we've got to train hard and show that this is what we're here for first. So don't get me wrong, the boys have gone to the Eiffel Tower. I think a few boys have had a few cute picnics together, but it's definitely at the forefront of our mind that we're here to win this World Cup, and it starts now.